Hello and welcome. My name is Molly Heights, and I'm a freshman at the University of Kansas. I attended Parkway Central High School in Chesterfield, Missouri, and that is where I received my diploma. My 4 years at Parkway Central were challenging, to say the least. As an incoming high school freshman, I had a difficult time transitioning from middle school to high school academically. My whole academic career leading up to high school, I had always struggled with math. I failed math in 6th grade and did not improve my math scores years after that. I was never good at math, and I never fully grasped the concepts I needed for most of my math classes. In middle school, grades are not really detrimental to your learning career, but in high school, they start to define who you are as a person, and they basically decide your college fate. Getting into college was not attainable unless you graduated with a substantial grade point average and ACT score. I was in Algebra 1 my first semester of freshman year, and my teacher did not care whether we did our work or we received acceptable grades. This teacher was not suitable for incoming freshmen. Early on in high school, I was diagnosed with ADHD, and I was in the process of finding coping mechanisms to deal with this in a classroom setting. I had tried different medications, but they all made me into something that I was not. They made me angry and outwardly rude to others. This was a great struggle for me, regularly being a fun, outgoing, and bubbly person. I had first noticed my struggles with math. I would spend hours trying to do my math homework each night, but I never fully understood anything in my Algebra 1 class. The weeks just kept on passing by, and I was still not improving in math at all. I felt like I retained absolutely no information in previous units. Each test I took was like the blind leading the blind, except for it was just me. I was in an additional math help class due to my previous math history. This class was supposed to be an outlet for any questions I had or just a place to do my work and get help with my homework. Still, being in this extra math class, it did not help me grasp the knowledge that I needed, and I was still struggling. The semester was close to an end when I found out that I could no longer pass this math class. They told me that I would have to take it over the summer. Being a new freshman, this terrified me to no end because in every movie or TV show you see, summer school was for the delinquent kids, and I was scared to be going down that path. I was so upset by this news, and I felt hopeless as a student. I felt like high school was too hard for me, and I felt like I wasn't ready. The next semester of that year, I had a new teacher for the remaining year. This teacher was known to be hard on their students, but boy was I in for a ride. My new math teacher, Mr. Haltman, was a loud being, and he came off very intimidating. He made us stand up in front of the whole class when we looked like we weren't paying attention, and he was the king of calling on students when they weren't paying attention to go write the answer on the board. If you didn't know the answer, he yelled louder than you could imagine doing in a classroom setting. This instilled frightened me as a math student. I was terrified of any of those things happening to me, and they did. He texted my parents weekly to update them on any progress or setbacks that I had made. Mr. Haltman went to the extremes to make sure that you were able to stay after school for additional math help. I stayed after school daily from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., solely working on math. He was there to make sure we as students were succeeding and grasping the basic concepts that we needed. The semester slowly ended, and I earned a B in his Algebra 1 math class. He continued to be my summer school Algebra 1 teacher, and the same rules applied. He pushed me as a student to do the best I possibly could, and most importantly of all, to believe in myself. Yes, I'm not the best math student, and this has been persistent basically throughout my whole life, but I'm just not a math person, and that's okay. But this went further beyond math. Freshman year, my grades were all over the place in every class. I had a tremendously hard time adjusting to high school. In summer school, Mr. Haltman ran my brain until it was dead. He went over the math with us continuously and answered many of my repetitive questions. I left summer school with a B in Algebra 1, the class that I had previously failed. I had achieved a higher grade than I needed to actually pass. This was something that I never thought that would happen. Having ADHD in school made it substantially hard for me to learn, and this made it even harder for my teachers, but he did not give up on me. I remember the day as if it were yesterday, my last day of summer school. I finished my final test, handed it to my teacher, and watched anxiously as he graded it. Moments later, he handed it back to me, telling me that I had just received a grade that I needed to have to earn a B in the class. I packed my things up, thanked him, and ran to the bathroom. When I stepped into the bathroom, I cried and I cried. It was one of the coolest feelings I'd ever felt in my body as a 15-year-old girl. I cried and I looked at myself in the mirror and I told myself that I did it. I did what I thought was the impossible. I passed Algebra 1. Mr. Haltman's antics have continuously stayed with me throughout my academic career, and I proudly say that I would not be the person I am today without him. I started to give up on myself the second that I realized that I had failed. I thought that there was no hope for me, and I thought that my future was ruined. He instilled a work ethic in me that you can't really teach. The remainder of my high school career, I was a B average student and I was proud. School really has never been my strong suit, but that's not an excuse for failing. Going into freshman year of college, I was terrified at the thought of having a repeat of my freshman high school year. This past semester, I could not have been prouder of the grades I received and the assignments that I have submitted. I have gained confidence in my schoolwork through this experience, and I have gained a sense of not cheating myself out on things. I used to think of myself as a bad student or just plain dumb. Seeing what I have accomplished, I'm not a dumb person, nor a bad student. I have learned that everyone has their own personal strengths and weaknesses in school and in life as a whole. I have learned my own personal strengths and weaknesses, and I know what I'm good at. This experience early on in my learning career taught me that what you put into life is what you get out of it, and sometimes it just takes hard work and perseverance. Giving up no longer seemed like something so easy for me. Giving up was no longer an option. It took summer school and a failed attempt at algebra for me to realize this. If you or someone you know is having trouble attaining a certain goal, you have to remember that it's up to you and only you to achieve that goal. I was lucky enough to have a teacher guide me through these struggles. You need to instill some kind of grit and work ethic in yourself to push yourself through these obstacles. Overall, I'm a better person and a better student after going through this, and I'm grateful for the experiences and life lessons that this has taught me. I am now excited to do homework and turn my assignments in. Getting a good grade in classes is really not out of the ordinary for me anymore. I believed in myself and I put hard work into what I did. Sometimes it takes having someone else believe in you for you to realize that you can do this and that you are taking less credit than you deserve. So, I would like to end this by giving thanks to my freshman year math teacher for helping me learn this valuable life lesson. You can achieve your goals with hard work, perseverance, and confidence in yourself and in your work. Having confidence in my work has made a big impact on me and how I view things. I used to view schoolwork as a chore, something that I didn't want to do, but something that I needed to do. Now I view school as an opportunity to better myself and actually learn things that will help me in my future. The outlook and attitude that you have on things makes all the difference. Thank you, Mr. Haltman, for changing my attitude around, and thank you all for listening. I hope I inspired you today to look at your challenges in a different way and to take them on with a positive attitude and perseverance. Thank you.